Welcome to Wrestling with Snipes. Today we'll be looking back at Survivor Series Wargames from Vancouver, British Columbia. Survivor Series starts off with the Wargames cage being lowered as we begin with the women's Wargames match. First out, we have one half of the women's tag team champions Bianca Belair teaming with Io Sky, Bayley, Naomi, and Rhea Ripley against the WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, Raquel Rodriguez, Miss Money in the Bank Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time. And the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. Will Tiffy cash in? The match starts off with Bayley representing her team and Nia Jax representing the opponents. So they battle for the first 5 minutes of the match. Nia Jax hits Bayley with a shoulder block to start. Then Bayley hits Jax with a neck breaker using the ropes to her advantage. Then Bayley hits a hurricanrana off the second rope. Jax then hits Bayley with a avalanche. Then Naomi is the next one out. Before Naomi gets in the ring, she grabs a toilet seat and a colorful kendo stick from underneath the ring. Naomi hits Jax with the kendo stick multiple times. Then there was a tug of war over the kendo stick with Nia winning that, and she hits Naomi and then Bayley multiple times with the kendo stick. Next out to even up the odds is Candice LeRae, who cuts off Tiffy as it looks like Tiffy was gonna walk out of the cage. The holding cage first. Candice grabs a few chairs before entering the ring. Jax and Candice swing the chairs at Bayley and Naomi, but they duck. And then a double drop kick. Then out comes Bianca Belair, who grabs a trash can from underneath the ring. And she also grabs a table, getting that in the ring. Belair hits Candice with a chair. Then Naomi hits a drop kick into the chair into Jax. Then it was Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton comes out next. Tiffy grabs a garbage can, chucking it into the ring, also with a fire extinguisher. Tiffy hits Bianca with the top of the garbage can. Tiffany then slingshots Bayley into a clothesline from Nia Jax. Tiffy and Jax hit a combo neckbreaker Samoan drop. Then next we have Io Sky coming into the ring. She grabs a colorful kendo stick and a garbage can. Io then puts the garbage can over her shoulder and climbs up the cage. Candice meets her at the top. Io goes for a sunset bomb, but Candice holds on. Io then hits a missile drop kick. Io then hits Tiffy with a chair. Then next, here comes Raquel Rodriguez. Rodriguez grabs a table before entering the ring. Raquel hits Io with a fallaway slam into the cage. Raquel then darts Naomi into the cage as well. Then we see a super collider by Jax and Raquel. Then finally, the final member to come into the Wargames is Rhea Ripley. Rhea hits Nia with a drop kick. Then Tiffy hits Rhea with a toilet seat. Rhea hits Jax with 2 headbutts, and she stands alone in the cage. And finally, it was time for the final member of the other team, the Women's World Champion, Liv Morgan. But as Liv is coming out, then she ends up leaving, heading to the back. She then comes back, but this time she comes with a baseball bat. Liv gets into the ring and swings the bat, but Rhea ducks it and the bell rings to start Wargames. Rhea then grabs Liv, goes for a riptide, but Nia makes the save. Then they hold Rhea and Liv hits Rhea with a baseball bat multiple times. Then Io climbs one side of the cage with Tiffy climbing the other side. Io puts the garbage can on herself and hits a moonsault. Simultaneously, Tiffy hits a swanton bomb off the top of the cage on the other side. Then Tiffy goes to the garbage can and pulls out the Money in the Bank briefcase. Is she gonna cash in? She's contemplating who she's gonna cash in on. Then Io sprays everyone with a fire extinguisher and Ripley handcuffs Rodriguez to the top turnbuckle. Jax is then power bombed through a table. Morgan then hits a code breaker on Ripley with the chair. Then Morgan climbs to the second rope, but Rhea meets her at the top of the rope. They battle, and then Rhea sets up for a riptide off the top rope through a table. 1, 2, 3. What a Wargames match. Rhea Ripley, Bayley, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Naomi win Wargames. Then the next contest is for the United States Championship as the champion LA Knight, defends against Shinsuke Nakamura. They lock up to start the match and Nakamura hits a drop kick. Knight is then dangling over the top rope and Nakamura hits a big knee to the stomach. Nakamura hits a back suplex from the top rope. They battle back and forth, then Knight gets the upper hand and hits an elbow drop from the top rope for a 2 count. They're battling between the ropes and Nakamura hits a reverse DDT on the steel that separates the 2 rings. Then Nakamura hits the Kinshasa. 1, 2, 3. Nakamura wins the United States Championship. Then the next match was a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship as the champion Braun Breaker defended against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. The match starts and Kaiser rolls to the floor and Braun attacks Sheamus, ramming his shoulders into Sheamus' midsection. Then Ludwig gets into the ring with a chair and swings at Braun, but Braun ducks it, and Braun hits Kaiser with a clothesline. Sheamus then hits Braun with a backbreaker. They all battle to the outside and Kaiser hits a dropkick into Sheamus into the steel steps. Braun hits a diving shoulder tackle onto Kaiser, followed by a belly-to-belly overhead suplex. They go back into the ring and Sheamus hits Braun with a Celtic Cross for a 2 count. Sheamus goes to the top, but he gets hit with a Frankensteiner from Breaker. Braun then goes for a spear, but he misses, and Sheamus hits a bro kick. 1, 2. Kaiser pulls the ref out of the ring. Kaiser then gets in the ring and hits his finisher on Sheamus, but turns around and he gets speared by Braun Breaker. Then Braun hits another spear on Sheamus. 1, 2, 3. Braun Breaker still the Intercontinental Champion. Then the next match was for the World Heavyweight Championship as the champion Gunther defends against Damian Priest. They start the match with a lockup and Priest lands a couple of kicks. Then on the outside, Gunther shoves Priest into the ring post and then throws him into the barricade. They get back into the ring and Gunther goes for a powerbomb, but Priest reverses it into a triangle choke. But Gunther escapes and then Gunther hits a powerbomb. 1, 2. Priest kicks out. Then they battle back and forth on their feet and Priest hits the Razor's Edge. 1, 2. Gunther kicks out. Then Gunther goes for a superplex but is pushed off the top rope, which also causes Priest to fall to the outside of the ring. And out of nowhere, Finn Balor shows up and off the steel steps hits the coup de grace. Then Gunther runs and hits a boot to Finn's head, knocking him down. Gunther then grabs Priest and throws him inside the ring. Gunther then hits a powerbomb and locks in the sleeper, and Priest goes to sleep. Gunther retains the World Heavyweight Championship. Then it was time for the main event of the evening in a Wargames match, which pits the new bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu, and Big Bronson Reed against the OG bloodline with Roman Reigns, Big Jim, Jimmy Uso, main event Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, best in the world, CM Punk. We start the match with Jey Uso against Tama Tonga. The match begins with them training right hands. Then Tonga hits a springboard elbow. Jey then hits a running hip thrust and both men are down, and here comes Big Bronson Reed. Reed throws a few chairs in the ring, then Jey throws one of the chairs at Reed, but he blocks it. And he hits Jey with an avalanche followed by a chair shot. Then next out, here comes Big Jim, Jimmy Uso, to even up the odds. He hits both guys with enziguri kicks. Jimmy then hits a corkscrew moonsault. Then next, it looked like Tonga Loa was gonna come out, but Solo stops him and he says, Jacob Fatu, go take care of things. Fatu comes out and he gets in the ring and he tosses Jimmy into the cage. Fatu then hits a standing moonsault on Jey. They beat down the Usos, and out next, it looked like CM Punk was going to come out, but Roman stopped him, and Sami comes out next. Sami delivers rights to Tama Tonga, then hits him with a clothesline. Sami then jumps off the top rope, but is caught by Jacob Fatu, but Jimmy hits a drop kick. So Sami falls on Fatu. Then next is a super kick on Fatu. Then next, here comes Tonga Loa. Loa grabs a table before entering in the ring. Loa then hits a clothesline on Uso. Fatu hits a moonsault on Jey. The OG bloodline is taking a beating, but they're about to get some help. Roman looks like he's coming out, but then he's sidestepped, and out comes CM Punk first out of the holding cage. They're waiting for Punk to get in the ring, and then Punk steps off the stairs, goes under the ring, and grabs a toolbox. Punk gets in the ring and he drills all 4 guys with a toolbox. Punk then hits a running knee on Reed. He hits another running knee on Fatu and hits a running bulldog on Fatu onto the toolbox, but Fatu pops right back up. Is this guy even human? He then hits Punk with a Samoan drop. Then the last entrant of the new bloodline, Solo Sikoa, comes out. Solo slams the door on Sammy's head. Then he slams the door on Jimmy and Jay's head as well. The OG bloodline is taking a beating. Fatu then hits a moonsault on both Usos, and then Big Bronson Reed hits a tsunami on Sammy. Then Solo locks the door with his own chain and lock so Roman can't get in the cage. Then Roman comes down. He can't get in the cage, so he starts climbing the cage. He gets to the other side and he hits a crossbody, taking out all 5 opponents. Then Roman and Punk get in each other's face, but Heyman comes out and he yells at them to take care of Solo's bloodline. Then a brawl breaks out between all 10 guys. The Usos hit a splash on each of the Tongas. Roman then goes to spear Solo, but Solo moves and he spears Punk. Reed then super kicks the OTC and sets him up on the table. Reed climbs to the top rope and then he climbs to the top of the cage. He's about to do a tsunami off the top of the cage, but Punk pulls Roman off the table just in time and Reed crashes through the table. Then in the other ring we see the Usos hit a 1D on Jacob Fatu. They set Fatu on the table and Jimmy goes to the top rope. Then he climbs to the top of the cage and he hits an Uso splash onto Fatu through the table. Solo is then surrounded by the OG bloodline and Punk. The Usos double super kick Solo. Then Sammy hits Solo with a haluva kick. Punk then hits Solo with a GTS. And Roman hits Solo with a spear. 1, 2, 3. The OG bloodline win War Games. Then Roman and Punk shake hands after the match and we all rejoice.